Good morning, good morning. So we're just out and about in, again, the run of good weather I've had with doing these videos. I was sure I would be doing one of them in a thunderstorm or a rainstorm at some point. I mean, it's not sunny, but it's a little bit overcast, but the temperature's absolutely perfect for being out and about with no coat on. It's not raining, so I do promise at some point I'm going to be doing one of these in rain and dark and overcast, but obviously can't promise when that's going to be. So it's been one of those mornings where things have aligned pretty well. So I'm not trying to boast or anything, because by no means, if you've followed any of my work or content anywhere else, I'm usually fairly open and honest with when things don't always go according to plan. That's just a fact, but I try and kind of stick to that Pareto principle of if I can control what I can control and make things go well 80% of the time, then I'll take that as a win, because there's a whole lot of things out there that I can't control. And with specific reference to my morning routine, and I've just posted a lot of stuff about morning routine recently, so go and check that out if you haven't seen it, and you can see what I'm talking about with regards to my own life specifically. But yeah, I got up early this morning, as I normally do, followed through my usual morning routine bits. All the while there is the risk that I'm going to get interrupted at some point by a small child or some kind of baby bodily fluid eruption emergency that I have to go and sort of intervene with. But it was one of those mornings where I was actually able to get through everything that I wanted to get done in a fairly leisurely fashion. Got some exercise in, even went out and went for a run, which I'm slowly getting back into. So yeah, great. And we've still got the day ahead of us now. So out with the hound, and I've got something I want to talk to you all about. So basically, what's on my mind at the moment is there are a couple of things that I think are really useful if you're the kind of person that's always got a busy workflow or task list or to-do list or whatever it is that you like to use, and you feel that you're never really getting through any of it, or never really making much of a dent in it. Perhaps it's just always getting bigger, and you just have that kind of gnawing, nagging feeling like you're perhaps not as productive and effective as you would like to be. Maybe you're just treading water, maybe you're just about keeping your nose out of the water. So I just finished reading and listening to David Allen's book again, the Getting Things Done one. If you haven't heard of it or seen it before, then I would check it out if you're interested in productivity systems and that kind of stuff. But there was a couple of little things when I was jotting down notes from it, just kind of useful things going forward, and it almost kind of boils down into great simplicity, essentially. That there are two elements of things that will massively help with whatever it is you're trying to achieve, whether it be a specific big task list or job list, or whether it's a project that you're working on, for example. And what I'm really kind of getting at there is there's two things you need to ask yourself, really. The first one is what is the purpose of what I'm doing? So why am I doing what I'm doing? So if you don't know that, if you're in a job where you have to go to a lot of meetings, you've probably encountered this. Why am I in this meeting? What are we trying to achieve in this meeting or this working group or whatever they've chosen to call it? So with whatever it is that you're trying to do, what is the purpose of it? Okay, if you don't know what the answer to that question is, there's a good chance that you're not going to complete whatever it is, because you're not connected with the reason why you're doing it in the first place. Okay, so that's one key thing. And then the other key thing, which I think is it's kind of the underlying core principle of the Getting Things Done methodology, it's the question, what's the next action? So with everything that you're doing, and again I can come back to the meeting analogy again in a little minute, often I find in my workplace that meetings are not always as well run as perhaps they could be. you come into a meeting not really knowing why you're there and what the purpose of the meeting is. You leave the meeting not being sure what's going to happen next. And I think that's quite common in a lot of organisations. And I think by just making sure that everyone understands the purpose of the meeting, why you're all there, and also people understand what their roles and responsibilities and what the next action is really key as well, because that's to me is the marker of a meeting that's been a waste of time, or some time that's been a waste of time. If I don't know why I'm doing the thing that I'm doing, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing next, then what was the point ultimately? So you can easily do this with however you manage your work or your workflow. Make sure that for everything that's on there, you have an understanding for why it's on there. So whatever it may be, I don't know, insert anything here. I'm trying to think what's on my workflow just now. So if I wrote something vague, I might just write gym shorts or something, for example, and that just comes to mind because the main shorts that I used to exercise in at the moment are getting a little bit past their expiry date and the pockets are all falling apart, but yeah, I continue to wear them religiously and resist buying a new pair. For those non-Scottish people, you'll probably be bringing out the Scottish stereotype of the tight Scotsman, but it's just a kind of reluctance to engage with something that I don't see as particularly important. And these ones still cover all the bits that they need to cover. But actually, just writing gym shorts on your to-do list or your workflow or your task list actually isn't all that helpful, and you're making your mind work harder than it needs to when you then revisit that. So making it really specific, so actually there's no action involved in gym shorts, I don't think, not that I can think of anyway. So it needs to be something like buy new gym shorts or look into different types of gym shorts, something that's got an actual action pinned to it. And you're making life a lot easier for yourself, so that you're kind of going, I don't really want to do it right now. I'm going to put it off for another time because it's going to take me a bit of time to go over some of the different brands and get ones that that I want, that I'm gonna, it's the kind of thing I'm gonna wear a lot for a long time. So I want to choose half decent ones that hopefully aren't going to fall apart in 5 minutes. So making sure, going through your task list, making sure that everything, you know why you're doing it, and you know what the next action is. And it's fairly straightforward, so you can apply that to your task list, you can apply that to meetings that you're running, you can apply that to projects that you're working on, and that doesn't need to be work related either, it can be home related. If you're planning to do something around the house, if you need to do something with the car, if you want to go on a trip with the family or the kids, anything at all, essentially. So those are two very simple things: understand the purpose of what you're doing, and understand what the next action is, and you can always be moving things forward. So just trying to stop my dog from dining on all the various animal poo that's dotted around this field. Sorry if we've been a bit distracted in this one, but hopefully that is something useful that you can apply in your daily life. Let me know what you think. Let me know if this is something you do already. Let me know if you do something different to that. I'd be really curious to hear from you. And I will catch you in the next one.